We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Of a necessary conversation with your host, Brooks Jackson Collier, and my amazing engineer, Richard.
Ain't I though? Ain't I amazing, man? I always come up with the right song.
You know, and I love what I do.
Brooksy,
like,
you know.
You love what you feel. I am loving what I am feeling today.
It is so good to have you back in the studios of LA Talk Live.
Yeah, you know, I feel so good when I get up and get on the 405 for an hour and 40 minutes.
Word. Into the traffic in LA. Word to the traffic.
It's worth it. It's worth every bit. You know, we like what we do here at latalklive.com. We have an amazing show today. I have the privilege of interviewing one of my dear friends who's an author of a book called Miracles of My Mistakes.
I'm already liking that.
Yeah.
Miracles of My Mistakes.
Amazing young woman. We're going to be talking to her. She's been with us before, but today we're going to talk strictly about the book. We're scheduled to have another author on, but schedules conflicting. We're going to have him on next month.
Did I tell you about the book I wrote?
Richard.
I will step into his position and lie throughout the entire duration of this show for the next 90 minutes about the book I wrote.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah,
but you know, you put it out into the universe, it becomes a possibility.
Yep.
So you don't know, and you really should be writing a book about the conception of this radio station. And
oh, that's only one. And what a book that would be. It would be a book that would inspire people.
Yeah.
Would be my goal. To get off of your assets.
Hello.
Right?
Yeah, you know.
Katrina and I were joking. You know, that's my beloved.
Yes.
It's my woman. It's my wifey. Big ups to Jelly Bean out there somewhere.
Woo-woo.
Babbling in somebody's ear because that boy can't stop talking. And I was joking.
I wonder where he gets that from.
I was joking with him with Katrina the other day. And, you know, there's this new dance out called yiking.
I'm still trying to get the torque.
Twerking, right?
Twerking.
So I was joking with her, and I said, you know, black folks need to stop yiking and twerking, get off the welfare, and get to working. And she laughed her ass off, and so did I. And she put it up on Facebook, and we got some likes off that.
That is so cool,
yeah,
but it's the truth.
It is.
You know, let's just put some of those movements into something positive.
Positive, yeah, man.
Yeah, we can do that.
We live in an all new world.
It's an amazing new world. I'm about to get my social network up in order.
I got a girl for you.
I got her info.
Did you talk to her?
I haven't. You know what? I really don't like to talk to people until I'm ready to go to work.
I feel you.
And I have all my funding in place now, and so I'm ready to pick up the phone and talk to her. So, yeah, that is exciting just to know that I'm going to have that up and running.
Can I give her a shout out?
Please give her a
shout out. Her name
is
is Jennifer Matthews. She's with Top Tier Marketing, I believe it is. And she also has a beauty blog called mybeautybunny.com.
Mm-hmm.
She is renowned in the field of beauty, has worked with Elena Zwick on Elena's Beauty Talking More very frequently, and so much so that she's become a co-host of that show once or twice a month. And she took our LA Talk Live Facebook fan page up 6,000 new likes within a very short span of time. It's fascinating. And these aren't fake likes.
Right.
These are people that she was able to tap into in alternative markets because we are global.
Yes.
In alternative markets that raised our fan page up. Amazing. I can't wait to get you guys connected.
We're
again.
connecting this week. I'm ready to talk to her.
I can't wait till you get started working with her.
It's amazing. And I have a couple of clients that I'm going to turn her on to because I want everybody to, we live in an amazing age with all the digital media that we have at our disposal. And as African Americans, we need to take advantage of it and stop saying, I don't like the internet. I don't want a Facebook. If you're in business, any type of business, anything you need promoting, you need to be on that social media. It only makes sense.
I was watching TV the other day and I saw a grown man say, I'd never been on the internet before. And I'm like, that's gotta not be true.
No. There's lots of people like that.
That's fascinating to me because the world is open and more free. When we talk about freedom and free stuff, stuff is more free nowadays thanks to the internet. You can do so much more on the web for free than you could trying to start a business back 10, 20 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I remember when 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I started the business, the Raylott Group, I was at Staples. No, not Staples, Kinko's every night, cutting and pasting. Putting things together and mailing shit out and all of that. And now I sit on my bed, a couple of clicks, and it's done. It's like.
You go to Kinko's late night because you hope that they put up the fresh glue sticks.
And then if you know the manager there that night, then he's not going to charge you for the stuff you do. And
get away with a lot of goodies, Kinko's late night.
After midnight.
Thank you. Nowadays, you don't need none of that. People ask, we need some flyers and some postcards. I'm like, who does that anymore?
Yeah.
We live in a world, we got to be more green conscious even.
Absolutely.
I mean, it may sound corny to some, but the fact of the matter is we got to stop cutting down trees and, printing stuff with toxic inks that wind up on people's windshields and then later in the parking lot.
Exactly.
And then later in a trash dump with all that ink leaching into the earth. Let's be more conscious and use the web for all its benefits in that regard.
I was telling my friend this morning I stopped to make a bank deposit. I love banking. You take your money.
Nowadays.
What do you want to do? I want to deposit cash. Email me my receipt. Click. It's done.
And you can even photograph your checks.
I know.
I can't wait till they put the one in where you can photograph the money and not deposit it. Cha-ching!
No, Richard, I don't think that one.
Oh, that's not coming? Oh, I thought that. Oh, daggone.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. Well, actually, we're going to take a break for a moment while I have a discussion with my boss. We're planning some wonderful new things for a necessary conversation. We're going to take a minute and talk about some of those things. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with some wonderful music that Richard has especially selected.
I am the Dr. Dre of Internet Radio,
You know you are. We recognize that. We're going to give you a better name, though. What's that other dude? The Spinner.
I don't know. I like the Dr. Dre of Internet music
Dr.
because, we really put it together. And I take a lot of joy in the music we put together for your show. So if you're enjoying it, be sure to stay tuned. Tell them what it is. Take us to the bridge. That means tell them what the show is. Announce who your guests are.
I'm going to be back. When I come back, I'm going to be on point. Listen, this is LATalkLive.com. We are more than just talking. You are listening to a necessary conversation with your host, Brooks Jackson Collier. When we come back, we will be coming back with my very special guest, the author of Miracles of My Mistake, Trezay Norris. Thank you for tuning in. Call your friends. They still got time to listen up. We'll be right back.
When the winter came, you went for the sun. Under roses, leaving me down. Where are you when I need you? My love.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
When the winter came, you were not around. Through the bitter winds, love could not be found. Where were you when I needed you last winter?
Hi, this is Dr. Levi, your fitness doctor, making a personal house call, inviting you to join me Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific for my all-new show, The Dr. Levi Show. Join us as we discuss fitness, health, and well-being, including emotional and spiritual health. So don't forget to tune in to The Dr. Levi Show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch us on iTunes, Radio R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv, or catch us on the Live 365 network, and now on Radio Flag and Stitcher Radio. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey, this your girl, Paris, straight from the Cousins, and you can join us every Monday at 8 p.m. here live, bringing you some great entertainment for those ears, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Burness Heron inviting you to join me every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our all-new show, The Mortgage Show. Join us as we discuss exclusive new products and programs through government and conventional financing. No mortgage-related topics are spared. Come with me through this journey of informative, stimulating conversation, giving you the facts, clarity, and insight you deserve. You never heard a mortgage show like this before. You'll be enlightened, educated at the same time. This is for the community, for the nation, for everyone. As the industry evolves, we evolve. So don't forget to tune into The Mortgage Show, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or just watch us on Ustream TV, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk.
Hey, what's up? It's your girls, Forbidden Gems, inviting you to join us every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. sharp for the hottest, livest talk show, Forbidden Tuesdays.
Join us as we expose the new generation of love and dating and help y'all run the game right. Ladies beware, fellas bring out your notepads.
So don't forget to tune in to
Forbidden Tuesdays
exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV. This is
LA Talk Live,
and we are more than just talk.
You ready?
I'm not giving Richard up for nothing. I am keeping
You always say the right thing, girl.
I've been told that.
Pull that mic in front of you there. Just stop being
welcome
a rookie.
back to A Necessary Conversation. We are here talking to one of my favorite people. This young woman that I'm about to introduce, she's been on the show before a few times, but in different capacities. Every time she comes on, we're talking about something different. You know her as one of my partners in a nonprofit. She is the owner, founder, operator of GEMS, Getting Every Mother Situated, which is a nonprofit organization that helps mothers with children through emergency situations. I just want to applaud you for that. But we're not here to talk about that today. Today we are talking to Trezay Norris, author of Miracles of My Mistakes. Now, this book is available on Amazon.com. You can go to her website. And
show it again.
You can get this book all over the internet. Yes. All right. And if you can't find it, call me. And I'll get you a copy. Miracles of My Mistakes. Now, we're going to talk about this because it's a miracle that this book was written. You know,
I agree.
Trezay, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank
Welcome
you so
back
much. Thank
to
you
the
for
show.
having me. It's always a pleasure being here with you.
You know, it's always a pleasure when you can hang out with people that you admire. You know, it makes your life seem like, wow, this is not just hanging out. This is really living.
Right.
You know, because I admire you for what I know of you, and just a little bit about Trezay. Trezay is a mother of 5. Amazing children. She runs a nonprofit organization.
Mighty round of applause for that.
Yeah. Hello.
5 jelly beans?
5 of them.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, and the baby is 6.
Yes.
6, and the oldest son is 21.
Yes.
Trezay, I just want you to pull that mic into the proper position.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
something like
good.
that. Yeah,
Okay,
and then
cool.
you can come back to this side a little bit.
Oh, see, I'm left-handed. I gravitate so.
That's all right.
Okay.
We're gonna straighten that spine up for you today because I want everybody to hear what you're saying, and then pull it a little closer to your
Pull
mouth.
it closer. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then move it up a little bit.
And move it
Yeah.
up.
Oh, girl, watch out now. See how you?
Right.
So you're not used to
cool.
handling nothing that small, probably.
Right. See, yeah.
I was finna to say 5 jelly beans. You don't know what to do yet.
You said, ooh.
Maybe there are some things left for you to learn, my sister.
You know what? Look, that is funny.
What, know me? That's the question.
See.
Well, needless to say, we got a lot to talk about in that area of 5 children. But the reason we're here today is to talk about this amazing book, Miracles of My Mistake. And I'll just start out by saying it was written while Trezay was pregnant. She had 3 children, and she was living in her car.
Yes.
Now, when I read that part, I'm like, this bitch is making shit up. You know how you make stuff up for poetic license? You want to give the book a little more flavor. You know, you want to add things to pull your reader in. You know, I'm like, okay, excuse me, I don't know anybody who could have done that. I mean, and I promise you, I know some amazing women. I don't know anybody who could have done that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. The thing about it is, the situation that I was in, the novel actually started off as a journal because I was going crazy. Because like you said, I was pregnant and I had 3 small children, and we lived in my Regal, lived in the Buick Regal for almost 3 months. And it was ridiculous, the things that I had to go through, and just the basic necessities that you take for granted when you have your own place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it started off as a journal, and I was just trying to I just was looking at my kids one night. I'm like, I got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old on the front seat. I got a 7-year-old stretched out on the back seat, and my belly touching the steering wheel. And this is night after night after night, and I just almost broke one night. I said, because there was some stuff on the news, some white lady had drowned their kids, and another lady, and I'm like, I never was geared to go there, but I could see why they felt like that was an option.
Yeah.
And I'm not justifying it or saying that that was the right thing to do, but I'm saying that you get to that point when they were at a point where they had homes and was comfortable, and they just was like, oh, I'm having a bad day, let me drive my kids. But no, me, where I was at, living in that car with them babies and just the day-to-day things, it drove me crazy. And I said, I always remember when I was like in foster care and dealing with different social workers and stuff, they would always tell me, well, if you don't want to talk about it, write about it.
Yes.
And so that's what began my journey to create Miracles of My Mistakes.
Well, it's an amazing book. Pick it up on Amazon.com. But let's just talk about some of the things that happened in the book as a child, that you were growing up, talking about the things that you didn't know. You know how children are so oblivious to what's going on around them. Like, I remember you saying your kids thought you were on vacation. They didn't realize.
They didn't realize we was homeless.
You know,
they just thought
they was having a good time.
Yeah,
just
I tried to make sure they had a good time. I mean, you know.
I remember my daughter and I grew up together, just the 2 of us, and like money was real tight. And McDonald's would always have those where you scratch off on the little.
Yeah. Oh, the little McDonald's, the cars where you scratch them off
And
and
you
win
could win
stuff.
fries or a burger or something. And we literally lived on those scratch offs for a month.
See.
Right.
See.
We'd have breakfast at McDonald's. We'd
Mm-hmm.
scratch some more little things. We'd have dinner because she'd
Right.
had lunch at
Cool.
school.
Yep.
And I remember talking to her years later about that, and she's like, "Mommy, I didn't know we didn't have money. I thought we was balling. We was eating at McDonald's every day.
Right.
We was balling
right.
out of control."
See, and that's how my kids felt. They didn't feel like we was going through stuff like, cause you know how you live in when I would scrape up enough money to get a room, for maybe 3 or 4 days or a week or whatever. Oh my goodness, they thought we had maids and housekeepers, and because we'd leave the room dirty and come back and be
it's all
fresh towels and
clean.
clean. Girl, now that they older, and they told me what they thought of the
Mhm.
experience. I was like, y'all just don't know.
They don't know, and
Yeah,
they
I
don't
just
need to
don't
know, and that's
know.
why God gives children that innocence.
Yes.
Because
yes.
no matter what we're going through as parents, you don't need to let your children know that.
And
you
it's
know?
important that you speak of the innocence of children because, like my readers will know when they read the book, I grew up without that innocence. I was
Yeah.
put on alert at a young age, and I have been on alert since about the age of 8.
Yeah.
Ugly things and grown up things have happened to me and tried to have happened to me, and I always wanted to shelter my kids from that. I didn't want them to know the ugly side of adults and the ugly side of life, and so
And unfortunately, you can do as much as you can, but you cannot keep them away from it. I was reading your dedication and the people that you thanked for keeping you sane. You know, and one, and at the very end, you thank Motown and the Chronic. And I'm like, let's just really keep it real.
Keep it real.
Let's keep it real because there's all kinds of things that, like, you can hear a song that could bring you out of a total funk.
Yes.
You can be all the way depressed
Mhm.
and, and hear a joke by Richard Pryor that'll make everything make some sense.
Exactly.
And I know you told me once your kids were doing homework and this white lady came and said how nice it is that you take your kids to the park
to study. And I'm like, honey, we live here. You in the living room, ma'am. So yes.
Excuse me, could you move in front of the TV?
Hey, thank you. Girl, I'm like, yeah, but they thought they was having a ball. They thought I was the coolest mom in the world, and they just did not know.
Still thinking that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had an unusual childhood, and you talked about 27 foster parents. And I'm having some issues with a friend dealing with the child. What do you call it? DCSF.
Yes.
And their craziness.
Yes. But see, back when I was little, you got to think about it. That wasn't such a big entity. DCFS came into real power play when the crack epidemic began, but I was before that era, so there were a lot of group homes and everything was like about the masses, and now it's geared toward individual placement. You see what I'm saying? So like when I got into trouble, like I would get sent to a home here. I get sent, but then when you get sent to a home, we talking 65 other kids that been there anywhere from the day you got there on up to 3 or 4 years. It's like little mini penitentiaries. And I had to stay in these places, and like I would be on the streets and run away from these places, and they would call the social worker, because like back then it would be a social worker could come and take to your school and get you. I remember her name. Her name was Edna Rowe. That lady used to come and get me and drag me here and drag me there, and it was just ridiculous the way that my upbringing was mishandled. Because now that I have 5 children and I'm a mother, I don't understand how someone can fall so short at parenting. And I'm not I'm not angry anymore because I got past the anger, but I have 5 kids. I was one child. The lady had 2 kids, and I don't care what you went through. I seen what you was going through. You had a good job. You had a husband. Stuff didn't work out. He didn't want to be bothered with your second child. I understand all of that, but I've gone through way more ups and way more downs, and I've never neglected any of my children
because it's all been about your children.
Always,
always. And as mothers, yeah, they say put yourself first because, put your own oxygen on first and then take care of those around you.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that way. But when it comes to your children, you don't think.
I'm on autopilot when it comes to that because it's like I know I'm going to be all right as long as my kids are all right.
As long as they're all right.
People say that you have to do that and put your kids first but I don't believe that because your kids are the driving force.
They're the motivation. And that's the reason that we are doing what we're doing. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about a little bit about some of those 5 baby daddies that you had and that have catapulted you into a whole new scene in the music business with Baby Mama Music. So we got a lot to talk about. We'll be back with Trezay. Keep that name in mind because you're going to be hearing some great things. We have a program starting out right now called What a Difference Trezay Makes. So come back and join us, latalklive.com, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. We'll be right back.
I could remember if it wasn't for the Sunday All-Star Weekend game, girl. I could remember, and if it wasn't for the dough, the Jesus show, girl, you know that. I could remember, but silly me, oh, tell me how could I ever forget to be your love? Never realize that you need love too. Spend my life making up to you. Oh, I forgot that we are lovers. When she starts bringing up older, and the fights keep getting worse. Finding numbers in her purse, better put that woman first. Yeah. And you notice she ain't wearing her ring. Oh no. And she starts playing little games, coming in late from work. You better put that woman first.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Hands can do incredible things. This is the sound of 326 hands playing Mozart. This is the sound of 10,942 hands showing appreciation. 64 hands building a house for the homeless. 142 hands swimming a triathlon. 18 hands winning the big game. And this is the sound of 2 hands helping to save a life. It's called Hands Only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's incredibly easy and effective. Hands can do incredible things, but nothing compares to using them to help save a life. Find out more about this latest method of CPR at handsonlycpr.org. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council. Hands can do incredible things. They made every sound in this piece of music. But nothing compares to using them to help save a life. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's called Hands Only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. Visit handsonlycpr.org today. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
With a child's heart, no face, the worries of the day. With a child's heart, take life.
We are back, and I'm talking to my special guest, Trezay, and we're talking about this amazing book that she has written, Miracles of My Mistakes?
Well, we started the show coming back from the break with a very favorite song of mine by Stevie Wonder called With a Child's Heart. And if you listen to the lyrics of this song, it talks about some of the things Jose talked about through her experience with you and your children, her and hers, how children look at the things we go through very differently than we do, how they calculate things differently, how their world is full of promise and, wonder. We get older, we get jaded, we get settled, we have expectations, which lead us to disappointments, and before you know it, we've got all these bags. But kids, whole nother level of reality, right?
They know how to let it go.
So you got to keep your heart young. You got to maintain that sense of wonder.
Right.
Represented by you, Trezay. I've heard your story many times. I work this board. You come here to support Brooks' show a lot. We applaud you for that as well. You are truly, truly a living example of that reality. Yes. You have to keep your heart young.
Yes.
Keep your wonder about you.
Absolutely.
Don't expect nothing.
No.
And be surprised at everything you get.
Yes.
Absolutely. You're absolutely
Real talk.
Yes.
Right here.
That was Richard.
One woman.
Just in case you
one show. Brooks. Still talking.
Still talking.
Say it with your chest.
We're going to keep this
Real
thing
talk.
rolling.
Great show
for
today.
real, though.
Really feeling this.
For real. Thank you, Richard. But we were just talking on the break about how you forgive and how you get to the point. I was talking about your mother and how you got to the point where your mother had to let you go. We don't really know what she was going through or what was going on. We can think, we can speculate, you know.
Well, I found some history. I kind of tried to, do some little research and find out what, the problem was or whatever. And she was born in 1937, Augusta, Georgia. So you can just imagine that era. So she grew up in the we don't want no problems era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she, her other sister was very dominant, and she married a dominant husband. And I feel like she was just dominated over. I mean, now that I'm grown and looking back, I forgave her because I don't feel like she had a strong voice in the circumstances in her life. And I don't feel like the people that were more boisterous than her over her life, I don't think she would have made the choice. Had it been up to her and left to her own devices, I really don't think she would have made the choices that she made, because I was left up to my own devices, and we see the miraculous choices that I made, and I had to get that from somewhere.
Someplace. Yes.
So that's why I forgave her.
So were you raised at all by your mother?
For a while, in and out the house. I would stay maybe a couple years and leave and go, and then come back maybe, a few months or something, and get sent to juvenile hall, or then I would stay and go back, and then I would do, and in between the coming and going, there was a lot of runaways, what I'm saying? Besides me actually getting taken and placed here or placed there, I was running away a lot, you know what I'm saying? I was on the streets hustling, she was never there. Her other daughter just despised me. To the point where I wasn't eating.
Your sister.
I didn't have clothes. Okay.
This was your sister.
Okay. I never really thought of it like that.
But you had the same mother.
Yes. But it's a cold thing, the way that there's just a difference. You would think that I was raised to feel like I wasn't supposed to be there. It's like, who is she? Why is she here? Can she please go somewhere? Please. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why, I have sisters in the street and sisters in business and sisters in my life that are more sisters to me. There's never been, and I even called her like about 2 years ago. I called her and I'm like, can you please tell me why you hate me? Silence. Phone went dead.
Now, is she older than you?
Yeah, she's like 4 years older than me or whatever.
So what does she do?
Well, our lives were so different. I grew up on the streets in different placements, running away, started smoking and drinking at an early age, had kids as a teenager. I was a teenage mom, that whole thing. And so she, on the flip side, graduated from high school, went to Purdue, has an engineering degree. And ironically, she ended up being the person on drugs, the person on having a drinking problem, the person who has a menial position with a college education. She ended up being that person. You know, the
That
life
is amazing.
Isn't it? Isn't it? I
That
thought
is
so.
amazing.
Too.
But you know what? You can see God's hand in things.
Yeah.
Because you really do get, you reap what you sow.
Right.
You know.
And
all the damage that you were doing growing up, you were doing to yourself.
Right.
You know, you weren't doing damage to other people. And then immediately when you had another person that you were responsible for,
it all came to
everything
a screeching
changed.
halt.
Right. It made your whole way of thinking different.
Because that's what I tell my kids. Y'all don't know who y'all mama is. I was one of the biggest, baddest, dope sellingest, boostingest, check writingest. I mean, I used to be the worst person in the world. But as soon as I had my first, because I was surviving, I did everything to the left of prostitution. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so the fact that the instant I had my first child, I stopped all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was like, wow.
I got a reason.
Yeah.
You know, I got a reason to turn it around. Because when it's you, you know, I do what I need to do.
You can bounce back. You know,
I go into automatic hustle mode.
Hello.
And I start making it happen however I need to. Like you said, short of prostitution.
Right.
I have this thing called POP.
Huh? What's that?
The promise of coochie.
Okay, right.
So you don't have to go all the way
just
there. You just gotta make them think, you know,
that they gonna get to the glory
if
land.
we get this right, you'll get to the glory land.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. But when you have children, it just makes a difference. That's why we were talking about your mother and the choices she had to give you up and to keep your sister. To me, as a mother, I can't even see that.
Well, they just threw me away. I don't think I was unexpected. You got to think about it.
But did she know who your father was?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I ain't saying unexpected like she didn't know if she was going to have sex, she wasn't going to get pregnant. I'm saying that I was not part of the plan. That's what you got to, this is my understanding of the situation. I was not part of the plan. Things were already bad and I was not supposed to be here. I was not part of the program. This second child was not, because you know why I can understand that, and it might be weird to people, because I too, when the child that I carried when I was homeless and living in my car, I had actually contacted an adoption agency, and this child was not part of my plan.
Okay.
And I wasn't gonna. I didn't want this child to grow up and feel the way I felt, or grow up and, you know, have to go through what I do.
Changes.
Right. So I found a wonderful family, wonderful parents. I went through the whole adoption process and everything. But when I had her, and she was my daughter. Now, mind you, I done had 3 sons, but this was my daughter. I said, you know what? This is a chance for me to stop this little family legacy of not wanting to be bothered with kids. You know, you can't just lay up and have. That's my first child. Now, the other 3, I was on autopilot, do what I got to do, take care of. But when I had my daughter, that was the first time that I realized that you just can't lay down and get pregnant and have kids and think that they somebody else's responsibility. If you bad enough to back it up, you bad enough to raise it up.
You are.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's your responsibility.
It's all day long your responsibility. So
and you can't leave kids to their own devices.
No, you can't, because I came up with the most horrible suggestions for my life.
and you were just blessed that God had his hand all over you.
Yes,
you know, because here's the thing I really believe about you and a couple of other people that have been placed in my life over the last year. I know you're an angel for me.
And you are for me too. Don't play.
So, you know, so hey. Yeah. But because I see the things that I go through and the things that I have gone through in my life. I'm talking to my sister and she's like, bitch, you have led a charmed life. You really haven't had the heartaches, the situations and the events that could come that would make you just want to give up. You had one incident your whole life where it didn't turn out the way you wanted to. And I look at that and I'm go, you're absolutely right. And so I cherish my life and the things that I have been through whether I thought they were good or bad, they were for my benefit.
Right.
And the things that you have gone through and that I have had the benefit of from reading that book makes me know women, we are no joke. When you put your mind to something, when you are motivated to a cause, when you have a reason to get up and get going, like Gems, like you went through everything you went through with the welfare system that caused you to create a system that will help mothers, that they won't have to be in their car for 3 months.
Right.
You know, that you
not
can't
if I have anything to do with it.
come
no.
to me. I'm going to work it out. And I have seen what you do. And I think who you are absolutely is a result of the fucked up upbringing.
I agree. And even with the childhood, the crazy childhood, and then even the choices that I've made in men and husbands and the children that I've had and everything, I cannot say that anything was a bad thing, because if I never really grew up on the streets, I wouldn't have no street smarts. If I wouldn't have known, if I wouldn't have dealt with these various stages of different men, you know, in my life, I wouldn't have the knowledge to educate my moms on bad relationships. If I hadn't had 5 kids and figured out how to feed them, I wouldn't be able to mentor them in their parenting skills. Because I have a joke that I tell. It's how you feed 5 kids with 2 eggs. Scrambled with cheese, baby. So you know what I said? I always figure it out. And if I hadn't have been through, like I said, the homelessness, the bad relationships, the bad childhood, I wouldn't be able to help nobody else. I wouldn't be able to help them figure it out.
Yeah, and you can, and book learning will only take you so far.
Girl, I go to college and get any degree anybody got, but they can't get what I got.
They cannot. And I had a kind of familiar experience, you know, trying to get some assistance.
Fell through the looking glass, Miss Wonderland. Yeah, you came on my side. I love you for that, though.
I need to see what's going on. My girlfriend, what are you doing, research? I'm like, bitch, hell no, I'm trying to get my Hey, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Can I comment on this a little bit? I had to take a break because as you both noticed, I got a little emotional about that last little segment, because there are so many incredible stories that come through the doors of this station, and you ladies both represent that. We live in a time when I see the evolution of the first becoming last and the last becoming first. I witness this daily. See, it's one thing when you out there doing something else and you grinding and doing your thing. All I got to do is wake up, shower, brush my teeth, put on my deodorant, and come here and turn the lights on and fire up the mics, and all these incredible stories unfold. All of these incredible people who have been through the most incredible experiences, real experiences. You know, I have a friend right now who is fasting ceremoniously for a global event called Ramadan. And I've talked to him and one of his new converts about that path. Now, you know, this is not to endorse any particular religion, but it's what they experience, not eating food or drinking water all day while the sun is up. And one of these gentlemen who is observing this ceremony, this ritual, it's his first time. And I liken it to the burning sands of denial. To walk through that, to live through that, to go through that and deny yourself. I was just saying this to one of the participants. It really makes every person equal. You know, it makes the rich man, because there are billions of people who are observing this particular event, right? Globally. It makes the rich man and the poor man the same.
Equal.
You know, and they do this yearly.
Yeah.
So every year they have to break down from their ivory towers or from their lowly caves and meet on this universal 30-day event, and everyone becomes equal.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said that, because Brooks and I had a meeting, about a month ago, and we were having a meeting, and she was telling me about her experience when she went to go try to get her bills paid. And that's at that point, me and her were equal.
Yeah.
And on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And she got to see what I experienced.
It wasn't just at that point. That has always been there.
Right, but that was a through the looking glass moment. Like
I heard you say that. Beautifully spoken too. I felt you on that.
Yeah, but that was, I mean, I cried. The hair stood up on my arms because I've tried to partner with so many women and work, and people have heard my wonderful story and they feel so sorry for me, an older poor little homeless girl, and they send me on my way. But she actually identified with me.
She heard
and
you.
That she heard you. She felt me. And for that moment, in the afternoon, she was me.
I was.
And that's the beautiful thing about what we have, because that was the realest moment ever.
Yeah, well, I
gotta give you a fake round of applause. That's so sexy. I gotta say, that's so sexy. And
the truth is
it's like that moment. That's right. It's like that moment that Barack Obama made the comment that I am Trayvon Martin. My son could have been Trayvon Martin. There's lots of talk about that in the news today.
Yeah, let's just touch on that a little bit more.
Yeah, after the break.
Definitely.
Because
how common
that
we
could
all
be
are.
any one of our children.
Yeah.
Anybody with a hoodie.
And I have 4 sons, so I think about it every day.
All the time.
Anybody with a hoodie. So I say to the homies out there, stop wearing hoodies.
Oh God, and I love hoodies.
Yeah, I know you do. Leave it alone, I'm trying to tell you.
No, it's the hoodies and the Skittles and the tea. It's the
trifecta.
Yes, we gotta leave it out.
The Skittles and tea, the new bath salt, Skittles and tea.
Right.
Not making light of this at all.
Not at all.
But the fact of the matter is, the truth
is the truth.
Is
a funny thing.
Absolutely. And while we're laughing about it, we need to make some changes.
And it's asinine. The truth is in this case, it's so asinine and
it's
outrageous.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievably funny because you're like, really? Y'all just gonna do this in front of the world?
Right in front of us.
In front of everybody.
Y'all were talking about books. Before we go to the break, I got to leave you with this. Y'all were talking about books.
Yes.
I read one, and I've been talking about it ever since I read it as a late teen. It's called Adventures of the Reluctant Messiah. You are, Trezay, Brooks Jackson Collier, reluctant messiahs of the modern world.
Wow.
Trayvon Martin was a reluctant martyr. Let's talk about that after the break.
I think we should.
How that brother martyred himself.
Yeah.
Not knowingly, reluctantly, but by the grace of God that opened our eyes to so much in this country right now, right?
To so much.
Yeah. Let's talk about that after the break.
When we come back. You're listening to LATalkLive.com, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. We'll be right back. What's up? So fine, making body love. Ass switching like my car when it switch lanes. So high, so fly, airplane. I can picture her accepting her award. Everybody's applauding, cause she's a star. Hidden nominees alphabets, looks of the year. Oh, I got it right here. She looking good, looking great. Walk up to her and I'ma say, girl, you deserve a Grammy. We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Dr. Levi, your fitness doctor, making a personal house call, inviting you to join me Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific for my all-new show, The Dr. Levi Show. Join us as we discuss fitness, health, and well-being, including emotional and spiritual health. So don't forget to tune in to the Dr. Levi Show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, exclusively on LATalkLive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch us on iTunes, Radio R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv, or catch us on the Live 365 network. And now on Radio Flag and Stitcher Radio. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hello world, how you living? This is D Brex, your host of the all-new rap project here on LA Talk Live. That's LATalkLive.com. Or you can find me on iTunes Radio in the R&B section. That's The Rap Project, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. West Coast time, so don't be late. On The Rap Project, I will be playing the very best of rap and hip-hop that goes beyond the ordinary. So connect with me, your host, D-Brax, the rap connoisseur, on The Rap Project every Wednesday at 7, right here on LATalkLive.com, where we are more than just talk.
Hello, this is Angela DeJoseph. Join me Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific for the Angela DeJoseph Show. Join me as we venture into health, wealth. We're going to give you news, interviews, and entertainment. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, Live 365, Radio Flag, TiVo Radio, and now live on Facebook. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
About you, ain't that messed up? Boy, this world's a trip. Either they keeping you down or they pulling you down. Clip your wings so you can tail spin and hit the ground. We all here together on this spinning rock, trying to make some sense of this life we got. And I ain't met a man yet that got all the answers. And I ain't been nowhere yet where they not fighting cancer. I seen a good prison system that gives second chances. What's the hate for? What's the war for? Well, ask Wall Street. It's probably why they stocks soar. I'm just a dreamer, you know, John Lennon. But what do I know? My head stays spinning. A world full of hunger where people can't make it. They say we ain't got it. Man versus who can waste it.
We're back. Did you listen to the words to that song? You know, there is some really good music out there. Just dare to listen to the words a little bit. Yes. We are back with Shazay Norris, and we're going to talk about Trayvon Martin. I just want to give his parents, you know, a word of I am honored at the way they are taking all of this and acting and advising people to keep everything on the up and up, because that's, you know, when something happens to your child, the first thing you want to do is kill somebody.
Yeah, you do.
First thing you want to do is retaliate against everybody concerned. And as a parent, I know if it was me and my daughter, I'd still be out there talking shit and causing confusion and not
pretty much,
But the way they are handling this, it you know, it says a lot for them, and it says a lot for Trayvon and who he was.
Right, exactly. Because if they parents ain't out in the street acting a fool after this happened, and that had to lend us to believe that he wasn't
what kind of young man he was.
He was, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And it could be any of our children, just like the president said. You know, unfortunately, I had my nephew was killed. On Christmas Day some years ago, shot in the back by a gangbanger, you know, just because he was a member of a different gang, you know.
Wow.
So the things like that happen, but that never even, you know, went to trial. That I don't even remember what happened, but when it goes to trial, when it's all out in the public in front of God and everybody, we are seeing this happen, and you are telling us to our face that this young man's life wasn't worth the paper it was printed on.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But wait a minute now. We said that I said this before the break. I do not speak for anyone here at the station. I do not speak for you ladies. His life right now may seem that way, but in the future, I was on the Rap Project last night speaking with D. Brax and a good friend of ours, broadcaster here, Sabir Bey.
Mm-hmm.
You met severe.
Mm-hmm.
I consider Trayvon Martin a modern day Medgar Evers, a modern day Martin Luther King. I want to take that position because that's how I want to remember him, personally speaking. But for these young people who are 17, 18, 19, 20, I see this all the time. The parents can't get through to them. They take their signals, their messages, their lessons. They get their foundation from us. Mm-hmm. But they take their messages, their knowledge, their insights, their view of the world from each other,
from their
as
peers.
we did.
Absolutely.
Well, my children, I have children like a 21, 17, 14. My kids, my 17-year-old, he came to the conclusion that it's loopholes in the law. Because I come downstairs and my children are watching CNN. My children are tuning in to this, Trayvon Martin coverage. And what happened was they got off because the defense proved reasonable doubt. It all came down to those two words, reasonable doubt. And the fact that he said Trayvon Martin beat him up and hit him in the head and bang, whatever aggressive remarks that were able to be made in that courtroom, that gave them the reasonable doubt out. And that's where I see it at. It's just a loophole in the law that allowed him to get away with this.
Well, and then reasonable doubt is not any doubt, it's reasonable. And for them, that was not reasonable that this young boy could beat up this big dude. That, that just...
But they had you got to think, they're all them white ladies on that jury. Yeah. They could look, my son is 6. They'll look at him as big as John Coffey on Green Mile. Yeah. And he's a 6-year-old black boy. But in their mind, he's capable of all these vicious and ravenous and barbaric things
against
because because they the little white lady and they picked that jury on purpose. The number one thing white women are scared of as far as big black men. Absolutely. So to us, he's Trayvon Martin. He was a little teenager. He was walking home with a hoodie and some Skittles. But place this in the mind of a deranged white woman who lives in south of Florida. Yeah. Any black man with a hoodie. You know what I'm saying? That's just like when the police looking for somebody, they say, oh, he's from 5'2" to 6'7", and he's 100 pounds or 250 pounds. That's the description.
May I beg to differ? The notion that white women are scared of big, scary, vicious black men was dispelled from slavery.
No,
they
not
like
in certain
big,
countries.
scary,
not when it comes to letting one of their own get away with murder.
No, I'm only kidding. I listen, but I do think that it's not white women who are equally oppressed to some greater or lesser degree in this country. They are. Mm-hmm. They fought for the right to vote as ardently as black women did.
But think about it. When they was fighting.
Let me finish my point. You're right. Of course. I totally understand that. Right. I get that. But they've been oppressed as well. There's an old saying amongst black men. Let me share something. And this is not to justify or say I'm right and you're wrong. But there's an old saying amongst black men that goes, there are 2 people free in this country. Now, this comes from the 70s on back. Mm-hmm. There are only 2 people free in this country. White men and black women, right? Oh, so you heard this one before. Oh, my God, you've been hanging out with the homies. Yeah. My point being this. So I'm not saying their struggle was, the same. None of that. But my point is that when you look at how they've been treated by this country as well. Mm-hmm. So to me, that the jury was only 6 people comprised of mostly white women, I can't imagine them siding, with a raging, hormoned 30-something-year-old with a pistol running through the neighborhood playing a fake cop any more than a black woman would.
No, but if you listen to the testimony and the picture that they painted of Trayvon, then that's the only way I can wrap my mind. Because you got to think when white women...
And I just ain't got white women scared of black men.
No, well, no, they... But it's the picture that they painted. They made that boy out to be a crackhead, deranged little boy who was looking for somebody's house to break into that night. I'm not saying that they're scared of all black men. I'm saying the way that...
White men maybe, but white women, no.
The defense was very articulate in making that little boy look like OG Tookie Williams.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
They took this little boy and made him seem like the
OG
most
Tookie Williams,
vicious, aggressive black. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that white women in general have this thing against black men or whatever. I'm saying in that testimony, inside that bubble of
In
a
that
courtroom,
content.
they did a Picasso on that boy's character.
Yeah, and that's what the results of that was.
Now, to me, there were several trials involved with this case, not just one trial. One trial was about, and this one has not been brought to the court of law yet, and maybe the civil trial will bring this out. One trial was about a grown man shooting a child, right? An unarmed child.
Right.
Who followed that child, who went beyond the call of duty in the pursuit of that child. That's a separate trial than what we've seen portrayed on TV, and we watched it all the time. The trial that we saw portrayed on TV, to me, as I saw it, was you're in a fight, you got a gun, you got your ass whooped.
You shot your person that whooped your ass. I agree.
That's the trial we saw. And this is why I think I understand how a jury of, first of all, it's normally a jury of 12.
I know.
A jury of 6 this time. All women?
Yeah.
That's not even a jury of your peer if you're the
wasn't.
defendant.
Exactly.
Not a dude
Totally.
not a dude, not a Latino dude, not a black dude,
I don't even know
not
how
a
that
white
got
dude.
by like that.
That's
How
Florida
did-
for you.
Because it's Florida.
Yeah.
Florida
Well, that's
can
how Bush
Florida.
Jr. got his second presidency.
so
But
no.
nonetheless, big ups to Tampa Talk Live and
Right.
Miami Talk Live.
Hello.
Stand up. But anyway,
But did y'all think about
that was bizarre in and of itself.
right?
Right?
It really was.
But the trial we saw was you got your ass whooped
And you shot
by a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
And whether he was on top of you or when you got up off the ground, you were still mad enough
To shoot him.
to buck one off
right, to pull out
as
your
a man
gun. Yeah.
in a man situation.
And it wasn't one man on the jury to bring that point across. It wasn't no testosterone on the stand to make them
Nigga,
feel
he was whooping my ass.
right.
When I heard the testimony on TV and they was talking about the screaming, everybody who testified on behalf of the defense said, yeah, that's that old bitch ass dude laying on the ground. Yeah, that sound like him. That don't sound like Trayvon. No, quite frankly, that's that punk ass dude getting his ass whooped, running around trying to be a tough guy, but got a pistol and got his ass
Got
whooped
his
by
ass.
a 17-year-old.
Yep.
Now, the bullet trajectory was him on the ground and pointing up, whether he stood up or not, whether the fight ended and nobody saw it and he stood up and pointed one and plucked it off right in that kid's chest. That was the trial that we saw. The next trial coming, and I hope the government goes after him about the civil side.
Yeah, I think they will. I think really they don't have a choice.
I
in
don't
that.
think they gonna do nothing.
I
One
think
last
they
question,
do.
though.
I think so.
One last question.
I
One last
hope
question,
so,
ladies.
but I don't know.
And I put this out to your audience, Brooks. First degree murder, right? Death penalty or life in prison. Second degree murder, 99 years, let's say. Right. Third degree murder, whatever. Manslaughter, 10 years. Freedom, he really got life.
Ah.
All right, so
Wow.
now I'm a guy.
Huh.
I would not want to walk the earth with that yoke.
Mm-mm.
Think of your spirit alone. And the fact that he truly was fed to the people.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
That's like a snitch turning him to the hood.
Right. Turning
where
him
he's-
over, letting him go free in the hood.
Did your hair stand up or something? You looked at your
Yeah,
arm.
I was looking like, because no, I just, when you
Stop
said
it.
that, I got chills because I'm like, you're right.
Absolutely.
He is not,
He
they
ain't
did,
free.
they
He
turned
got
him
life.
loose to the pub. But then he got money. He made a lot of money off of that.
That
He
money,
gonna,
money ain't a thing, love.
he gonna
It
go
don't mean
somewhere
nothing
and try
if
to
you can't
lay
buy
low.
a Bentley,
He
drop the
can't
top
go
on it, and
nowhere
drive through the
without
city with
them
it.
recognizing who
Nowhere.
he is. And whenever
his
he
family.
steps out the house, he's gonna feel it, whether anybody knows who he is or not, he's going to feel like it. People are watching me. They know who I am.
As a man and as a human being, I'm going to tell you, had they let me go, if I were in his shoes, stumbled across his situation in the back of my mind, knowing I should leave it alone, and I wound up in that situation, right? And they let me go and gave me $100 million. That is salt to his wound. That means that he'll get all that money and will never enjoy it.
Yeah.
He is the classic example of a rich man fitting through the eye of the needle. Let's be real godly in our perspective about this. If nothing else, have we given up on karma?
Oh, no way.
Did we forget about the biblical reference, which you reap?
You absolutely
die, live by the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to finish that? No. Live by the sword.
Yeah.
There it is. So let him enjoy his life sentence.
Yeah,
George Zimmerman,
that's what it is.
I hope you make $100 million from your story. It will be salt in the wound of your soul for the rest of your life.
And amen to that.
I didn't mean to preach. Tabernacle, church. What?
Well, Trezay is an ordained minister.
I do. I have my ministry credentials since 2008. And so that's why I can, I don't know. It's just like with the whole white women on the thing, it's like they don't have to say, and they were oppressed. I get your point on that. But if white women, when we was trying to vote, they was fighting the smoke. You know what I'm saying? And that's the big difference in racial equality. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They were worried about, can we smoke cigarettes, and we trying to stop getting beat up every time we walk to the street. You know what I'm saying? So the Trayvon Martin thing, I think it was just so blatantly unfair that either it's going to be some change or this is a slap in the face to let them know what they still think about us.
Well, I think it's both, because it's got to bring about some change somewhere, even if it's nothing but in the way we think and the way we think about ourselves, the way we conduct ourselves, the way young men, are accepted or seen.
Right.
There's changes already happening right now, and we just have to try to affect the positive part of the change.
Right. What do y'all think about Florida? Go ahead.
Do you want the young men to pull their pants up? Don't you want the young brothers to pull their pants up a little bit?
Right?
My kids don't sag. Now, my kids don't wear skinny jeans, but my kids don't sag. I've never told them not to. I'm sorry, but I never had to tell them don't do that. They don't think it's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I don't think is cool. But I think choices. We have choices. I think young men need to want to pull their pants up. I think they need to see that it's going to make a difference in how they're being perceived.
I see men in dress pants. I see them on the bus stop about to catch the bus to go. Obviously, so you have on a collared shirt, is buttoned down. Your dress pants are sagging. But
I wonder at what age are you too old to sag?
I see 50-year-old men in the grocery store wearing Raider jerseys, sagging in Dickies with French braids. You gotta remember, I live in Watts, so it's like. But I'm like, are you not gonna grow up? I mean,
oh my
may I ask
God.
what a French braid is? Let me get to
that. Cornrows.
That's a French
cornrows.
braid. Yeah. I used to wear them back in the 70s. What's wrong with cornrows?
When there's salt and peppers, cornrows.
I said it in the 70s.
Yeah,
the operative word.
Yeah, with your sagging jeans.
But I need to ask you guys, what do y'all think about Florida as a state? Now, over the last several years, Florida has been getting away with some notorious, can't stand black people stuff. Mm-hmm. What do y'all think about that?
So what are the black people in Florida doing?
Nothing. I think we marching and riding more out here than they are out there.
Yeah, and see, that's the whole thing, is if you don't want to do nothing about your own situation, then how can you expect someone on the outside to come in and do anything about it?
Yeah, because while we in Oakland and on Crenshaw riding, and you ain't heard nothing about Florida. You ain't heard nothing about
what's going on.
Well, Brooks, we had a comment from a friend of the station who wanted to put this out here. I hope you don't mind. This is something he wanted to add to the conversation.
Well, absolutely, Stephen.
Well, I was just listening to you guys and talking about cornrows and Raider jerseys and about what people wear, but Medgar Evers died in a suit. So did Martin Luther King. And so did Malcolm X. So it doesn't matter what we wear. That has nothing to do with anything.
Well, now I have to disagree with that because we're talking about young boys. We're talking about young boys.
And
right
look
now.
at the era.
Those were adult men.
But
and
look
that-
at the era,
and the
too.
era that we're talking. You know that if a young man is walking down the street and his pants are sagging and he's got on a hoodie, he's going to be judged differently.
But you have to understand that culture, that's the culture of what we live in today. Not
It
hold on,
is.
not only those black young black guys, but white
Oh, absolutely.
and Latinos.
All of
so
them.
my point is, why are we being singled out because of what
We're
we
not
wear?
singling nobody
No,
out. We
not-
saying it's not cool
But we're
for
the ones
anybody.
we're the ones that's dying, and then I hear this, comment.
But then the Latino guys, the same thing is happening with them. I'm in Woodland Hills. I see white boys with their pants sagging way too much, but they are not being attacked the same way that the brown and the black
Exactly,
boys
and it's not what they
are.
wear. My point is, it's not what they wear. It's the color of their skin that makes that a fact of life.
I agree with that, but I still think that if you're dressed a certain way, you're perceived a certain way.
Just
The
like if I had
same
on a
boy-
hoodie. What if I had on a hoodie and I had on some Levi's and I was sagging and had cornrow? They would think I was gay. And it ain't had nothing to do with me
Nothing
being
that-
black.
Yeah.
They would think I was gay. I would have a
It's what you
persona
had
of a stud female lesbian person. And I could put on some hoodies and sag them up under my butt and put on my hoodie and have my stuff on, and they would be like, "Oh, she
Oh,
gay."
yeah,
All day,
exactly.
and ain't got nothing to do with this. It's the persona, is what you putting on.
what you
And we
putting
wasn't saying Trayvon was sagging. We was just saying in general how you feel about the sagging pants. But when you say Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King, they died in a suit. Look at the era. I ain't seen a kid in a suit since the 70s.
And that's part of the problem.
Because
to
the
me,
mama started
They
smoking
don't
up the
have-
suit money. It used to be
Okay.
important.
But it
When
was
crack came out, them
important 'cause
suits went out the door. I ain't
know-
Gary spend no $70. I go
But
get a
you know-
ball for that. It wasn't
For
about
real.
the suits and the
Because
dress.
you went to
everybody
church.
I
You
know-
had a church
Thank
suit.
you.
Now that's
Everybody,
church.
you
That's
had
tabernacle.
one
That's
suit.
true, ladies.
Everybody
Yeah.
had one suit, and I don't care. Like Bernie Mac said, if your brother had on a jacket, you had on the vest, and somebody else had on the pants. Y'all
That's
had a
right.
suit on
That's
all
right.
day long. I haven't seen when kids go to my kids' graduations and stuff, and it'd be one kid in a suit and everybody else just got on regular nice clothes or some shirt. That's economics. Cause me as a mom, I'm not gonna go buy no suit for my son to graduate to 8th. No, you gonna get some nice pants and a nice shirt. Cause guess what? We might have somewhere else to go. You know what I'm saying? You gonna wear that again. We gonna recycle this. You're not just gonna wear this to graduate. You gonna wear this to a function, a
Absolutely.
church. If I need you just to look nice cause some white people coming over or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It's the time, the sign of the time.
It is.
But it still don't mean, because see, you got to think, they thought it was cool to go to jail when they went to jail and everybody come home sagging. These prisoners started that. But these guys that ain't never did no time, they don't know that they just what the invitation for that
Right,
means. They don't really,
exactly.
and even though we print it out and we put it on Facebook,
They
they
don't
don't
pay-
get the connotation between if you do that behind the wall, you going to get got. See, they
Right.
can walk around on the streets with their pants sagging. Let them go to Chino. Let them get sent up to Folsom or somewhere.
Hello.
I bet you they pull them pants
Speak
up.
on it.
Hello.
God
For real,
damn.
though.
I'm sorry. Look.
Hey, look.
But this is
You might
for
want to say
real
church or tabernacle. I'm going to say
knowledge, though.
penitentiary on that one.
For real.
Penitentiary.
Okay. Let it.
Absolutely. I would love to see some young men in suits again.
Yeah.
Remember a few months ago, and they had that big discrepancy at Morehouse about those guys dressing up as
They
drag.
even made the
You know?
NBA people dress up. Remember they changed the stuff in them. They wouldn't let them wear the big chains, and now they said you got to come on the court in a suit.
Exactly.
You know, it's ain't
And
nothing-
that rippled throughout the entire sports world and even in hip hop. This is the thing I'm talking about, y'all. This is what I'm trying
It's
to
about
get to
trend
about
setting,
the
it
dress.
sound like.
I said this when I was on D. Brax's show last night. Listen, my mother would not allow me to walk out the house looking like what she called, there was no word, thug, a hoodlum.
A hoodlum.
Boy, you look
That's
like a
right.
hoodlum.
That's
Right.
right.
Going up there and take off your Stacey Adams shoes that you shine up to a high gloss buff and
Okay, well,
that-
you had your
You
sugar
had
free
your little
on.
pimp game was working.
Right.
you know what I'm talking
Got
about.
his sugar free
My point
on,
is,
yep, with the
uh,
linen suit and the your Bible, yeah.
with your pretty self. Anyway,
Okay. And why these girls got on the same color you got on? Why y'all matching
You
and
know,
stuff?
what's that
Listen.
about?
you know, you check your kids. I mean, you are women with daughters. I have no
I have
concept.
one
I have
daughter,
one
4
son.
sons.
I got one son, right?
Yeah.
No daughters, right?
Yeah.
And I would check him if I thought what he is wearing might put him in a compromising situation. Now, because women do that with their daughters. You gotta.
But I do it with myself. I don't let my
Thank
kids
you.
come downstairs and watch TV looking any kind of way. You're not finna sit in my couch in your drawers, eating cereal, watching SpongeBob. It's not finna happen. You're gonna have on some basketball shorts and a shirt. You're gonna have on socks in the wintertime. I dress my kids according to the seasons, according to where. Even like I said, they can't even come out their room walking around my house looking a certain way.
I developed a philosophy based on what my mother taught me, not in these words, but on my own. And let me say very clearly that this is in no way, from my opinion, a condemnation of the parenting of Trayvon Martin. Those are two of the most incredible human beings that I've ever seen live on TV on a daily basis. Eventually, everybody snaps, even if you're on a reality show.
You know
those two black people sat there with their mouths shut with dignity on their face. But that said, my point is this. Again, to the brothers, pull your pants up, and if hoodies get you shot, you might want to avoid them.
Can I comment on the poison
By all
character of
means.
Trayvon Martin parents? I do want to commend them, and I learned from that because they've been so classy and poised on television through it. And I've cut somebody out in the parking lot for letting a shopping cart hit my truck, and I done went real big and real loud and real. So the thing about that is the fact that they have lost a child, and it make me fussing and cussing that lady out about that shopping cart just don't seem so important anymore
was not that
because they are so classy.
Lost a
and-
child, but the good Lord sure blessed them with an angel.
Right, but the thing
martyr.
they are like really cool.
Messiah.
They like are not. They're not inciting violence because they know good and well if they get on TV talking about get them, it's gonna be
on.
right. And they not doing that. They choosing not to do that, and that just taught me something about temperance and faith.
Yes.
And being, doing the right thing
And
even when the wrong
patience.
thing. Yep.
Absolutely.
One last question, ladies. Are your children yours? Or do they belong to the world at a certain point? Do they belong to God's plan? Do they belong, and I'm not trying to be religious, do they belong to destiny? Martin Luther King had a mother. Malcolm X had a mother. Medgar Evers had a mother. Jesus Christ supposedly had a mother.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Are your children
they
yours?
just didn't know.
You
No,
know, at a
Whoa.
point.
They didn't know what?
No, they just didn't know. Like when you saying who the children belong to, I think that everyone, the children and including myself, everybody belongs to the universe. I think we are here because just think of if you go back to the sperm and the millions of sperm, and take one of these sperms to fertilize an egg, and this egg grows inside the mother, and the mother has this child. If you go back to that just basic philosophy, we were chosen to be here, and we were put here with gifts and talents and attributes and a purpose. So I believe that the children belong to the universe because they're here to be a movement in the world.
What children?
All of
All
us
children?
belong to
That's
I
my
believe
All
all of us
children,
belong
belong
all
to
of
the
us,
universe, too.
everybody. That's what I'm
We
saying. I
do.
said
You owe,
everybody.
Pookie. You owe.
You funny, but everybody.
we all belong to the universe. As parents, our job is to teach our children to be prepared to merge into their lane.
To serve.
And find
that's
their
all,
purpose.
Find their purpose.
Because I'm comfortable with what I do with gyms, helping people, because that is my purpose. I realized I went through all this stuff so I could grow up and help people. Find your purpose and figure out what you're here and what your blessing is to the world, and be that.
Yeah, and most people don't even know. They don't think about it. Why are you here? I'm
Right.
looking
What-
for my purpose. I just found a passion.
Yeah.
Your passion, it is passion that draws you to the purpose. It's that heat in your loins,
Right.
that
makes you
fire in your
wanna-
heart,
Exactly.
It makes you
that
wake up.
burning thing in the back of your brain when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, like
Right.
I
'Cause
can't
I
sleep.
was down and out. I even said the other night, what I say, I should be somewhere in the day room listening to soft music, waiting on somebody to give me my medication at 2:00.
Where's my Thorazine?
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that I came through that and I still got my sanity, and I'm still have that burning desire, like you mentioned, to help other people. You gotta figure out what you're here
It's
for.
through the fire.
Figure out what you're here
It's
for.
through the fire that one
Absolutely.
finds purpose. You really have got to give it up to the Lord if you're going to serve him.
That's right.
There is no short path.
It is.
If you
It ain't no
are
easy
confused and don't know where to go,
Right.
if you give it all up in the end, the fact of the matter is,
Right.
if you find a path that gives you the golden ticket to serve him or her, however you perceive it, guess what happens? You gotta burn.
Right. And that's why we're doing the Brooks Jackson Collier presents What a Difference Trezay Makes, because we're
What
going
a difference Trezay makes.
Yeah.
I already got the remix.
Yeah.
24 little hours.
Okay, because we're going to go all around changing people's lives.
Changing lives. Hey, this has been an amazing day again.
I feel like I took over your show a little bit, but
You know, Richard.
it's like you
I'm gonna
interviewed
have to
me
have
today.
you.
It's like I was
yeah,
your
but you
co-host.
won't ever come over on the other side.
Well, you're prettier than me. I'm nowhere near going to come on that side of the table with y'all fine ass sisters with my ugly old booty over there trying to front like I know what I'm talking about.
He just wants some
I wanna-
compliments. He know how he looks.
Yeah, I'm
We're
fishing.
not
I'm fishing.
gonna say
I'm fishing.
nothing.
Can I get one?
We ain't gonna
Can I get
say
one? I look today.
Katrina's man. We ain't talking about.
Okay,
you.
we don't like him. No, ain't no.
You sure don't want no part of this.
Huh.
My girl from Watts.
For
She'll cut the pretty tires on that nice car.
Don't you? Yeah, that's you ain't got to worry about. Your secret is safe with me, ma'am. He is
Solid.
for. I will put him in bubble wrap and
Right.
send him back
You got
to you.
me, right?
UPS.
You
honey.
protecting me, aren't you, Trezay?
All day long. All day long. This has been an amazing show. I thank you, my guest, Trezay Norris, for being the amazing woman you are. And I know you're going to tell me where you keep that cape.
Girl.
Because I know the cape has got a hole in it. And
Yeah, my wig crooked, my heel broke off my boot. I got a run in my stockings, but I'm still gonna save the
Okay,
world.
that's right. We're going to
Still.
save one person at a time.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be back. I don't have a clue what we're going to be doing next week.
Something
what we're gonna be talking
fabulous.
about, but I know it's going to be necessary.
I'll be here with you, Mama. We'll
Well,
make it
of
up as we
course,
go.
You know, we can do that.
Through the
'cause that's just
fire.
who we are. We have been through the fire. And my sister says, if you don't have a test, you can't have a test. If you don't have a testimony, you can't have a test.
Right.
So we all have testimonies here,
Yes,
and
we
we are grateful to God for being in the head of our lives. Thank you, LATalkLive.com, for giving me this place to come and hang out with my friends. Trezay, it's time for us to go take a break, and let's make it do what it do. We'll be back next week to talk to you about some more stuff. I don't have no idea what it's going to be. But join us and tell all your friends to join us. It's a surprise.
But necessary.
But necessary. Thank you all for joining us at LATalkLive.com, where we are more than just talk. We are signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.